And we are live. What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to another explosive week of the Voice of the Fans podcast. Got my man up in the Northwest with his you're not gonna be able to wear those Mariner colors very, very much longer.
Okay. Well, at least now you acknowledge that they are Mariner colors. Thanks so much for doing that.
I'm just saying you're not gonna be able to rock those very much longer. So yeah,
Okay.
you got this week and next week, I think, right?
Okay, you sound less and less confident every day, Cam, but we can get to that.
I mean, we could just look at the schedule at the their wins loss record.
Okay.
Look at the schedule. I mean,
No, we'll check back when I get my time at the end. I don't want to waste any time, the fans' time right now because I had a lot to say. So
we'll see if you can even make the 90 seconds talking about the scrubs.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, fans, thank you guys for tuning in to another fantastic, explosive week of the Voice of the Fans podcast. This week, man, we're going to talk about the recap of week 2 in the NFL. We're going to talk about the Intuit Dome gets revealed. The Intuit Dome, it's hot now, guys. If you guys haven't seen the videos on YouTube yet, check out my article, What's Good in Sports, on the Intuit Dome. Check out the video I posted on Voice of the Fans on Instagram, Voice of the Fans on YouTube page. The Intuit Dome is out and ready to go. We also going to talk about this week in history, and then we're going to talk about the good and bad of the NFL this week in week 2 as we recap it. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, Voice of the Fans. This is your man Cam. Got my man Clevon in the Northwest. How you doing, Clevon?
Doing all right, Cam. Doing all right.
Oh man, I know why you're not doing so well, but we're gonna get to that in a moment. I don't want to ruffle any further, but we're gonna get to. I know why you guys are a little down up there this week.
Right.
So each and every week, fans, we talk about the numbers. Would it be a September 22nd, week 157? We want to talk about today the number 22. When you think of that number 22, who comes to your mind first, or who wore that number best? Go ahead, Clevon, and tell me who wore that number best, or when you think of that number, who comes to your mind first?
Cam, it's the same for both. It's Emmitt Smith. Clyde Drexler was a very close second, being that he was up here in the Northwest, kind of doing his thing. But it's Emmitt Smith for both.
For both of those,
for sure.
Elgin Baylor, I mean, he don't get no consideration. His time there
gets plenty of consideration. Not who comes to mind first, and not who wore it the best.
The guy who comes to my mind first, wearing the number 22, wore it before Emmitt Smith, and he was a sharpshooter, shooting guard for the Philadelphia 76ers back in the mid-'80s. Andrew Toney. I was a big Andrew Toney fan. I thought he didn't get enough love on those 76ers teams. So that's actually who come to my mind first. But then, as you know, the Hall of Famer, NFL rushing leader, Emmitt Smith, probably wore better than Dave Brown. And then, obviously, Elgin Baylor. Number 57, man, that's a tough one, though. Number 57, when you think of the number 57, who comes to your mind first? It was easy for me, but I suspect this will be difficult for most fans. Who comes to your mind first, or who wore that number best?
We'll throw you a straight curveball on who came to mind first, Cam. It was this linebacker from the New Orleans Saints named Ricky Jackson. Who also played with 3 other linebackers who all at the same time went to the Pro Bowl. A cat named Patrick Swilling, a cat named Von Johnson, a cat named Pat Mills. They all went to the Pro Bowl at the same time. Ricky Jackson was a big part of that.
Ricky Jackson, he was a great call right there. Great call.
Came to mind. Who wore it the best? I mean, that Dolphin center, probably Dwight Stevenson. 57's kind of a weird number, but he was definitely, top 5 all time in his position. So I would have to say that he probably wore it the best.
Yeah, that pioneer. He was a pioneer, Dwight Stevenson. They're really Ricky Jackson goes ahead of Tom Jackson as wearing it the best. So good call by you there. What was a good call is Ryan Tannehill goes up to Seattle and he finally gets a win that he should have got 3 or 4 years ago. He has that beast to hand the ball off to. You want to talk about Derrick Henry running for what 180 yards against your Seahawks, or do you want to just talk about the Seahawks not being able to get it done? Which angle you want to talk about?
You know, Cam, we can talk about both. We can talk about both. Thanks for asking. You know, Derrick Henry. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying thanks for asking and giving me an opportunity to, you know, address this, you know, egregious loss that the Seahawks had from both angles. So from the Tennessee Titan angle, yeah, kudos for staying committed to the run game, even though Julio Jones was completely shredding that other corner. I'm not even going to say his name out loud. It was terrible. And then in addition to that, just the way they stayed committed to it. And as Giannis said in the playoffs, what did Giannis say, Cam? What did Milwaukee not want to do with the Miami Heat?
They didn't want to play with them.
They didn't want to play with their food. Yeah. So if you're 30-16 in the fourth quarter, why are you playing around? Why are you letting these things happen? The game is well and in hand, and they didn't close and execute. So great scheme on the Tennessee Titans' part. Horrible collapse, choke job by the Seahawks.
Now, fans, Clevon won't tell you. He won't tell you this, but I'm here to let you know. Clevon's a closet Tennessee Titan fan. I think he might have if he turns the camera over, he might have if he's pan the camera around, he might have a Ryan Tannehill jersey hanging up in one of those closets over there. And also Derrick Henry. How do you let Derrick Henry coming into the game? You know Tannehill can only beat you by doing play action passes. You understand that clearly, right? But the play action only works is when the running game works. How do you let them just run the ball down your throat in the fourth quarter?
You know, Cam, all of that is water under the bridge, man. How you did it is, you know, inconsequential at this point. It happened. They let him do that, and you know, you have to shake that off and move on to week 3, Minnesota.
On to Minnesota, huh?
On to Minnesota.
Wow. Well, you know, having the NFL, what is it? The action pass I got some pass where I'm able to watch the games in 45 minutes. Now, I never thought I would care for that. I'm able to watch the game commercial free, 45 minutes. I can get through all the games in 45 minutes, depending on kind of how many replays they show in the game. And that's pretty great. That's great actually, because though when you don't catch the full games, you know, like on national TV or what have you, I'm able to go back and kind of see exactly what happened. I'm able to go back and see exactly how Derrick Henry just runs untouched through the Seahawks lines for 67 yards a clip. Like, that was surprising to me. What was number 33? That guy they spent 2 first rounds on, did he play on Sunday?
Yeah, he had some great plays. He had some boneheaded plays, but that's beside the point, Cam. We're moving on. It's week 3 to Minnesota.
That's business. Yeah. Oh, now he's Bill Belichick. He don't want to talk about what happened now. I mean, but you have to talk.
It's week 3 to Minnesota.
You have to talk about what happened to understand how you get
absolutely
better.
What happened is that I thought I already addressed that, Cam. There was a collapse. The Titans stayed committed to the running game. They had Derrick Henry running the ball, which makes the play action from Ryan Tannehill that much more effective. And then you had a cornerback, as I said previously, Cam, that couldn't cover Julio Jones.
Now he want to be salty with me. He want to be salty with me because.
Well, I thought I answered the question. You keep asking the question.
Well, let's move.
Like you asked the question.
Let's move on. Though I want to hear exactly how you guys let Derrick Henry, the one.
Okay, well, I just explained that.
It's like playing a team with one arm. It's playing a team with one arm.
Like Giannis said, you don't play around with your food. Okay, you don't play around with a Super Bowl contender, either at home or on the road, and just think you got this thing won.
Oh, now they're Super Bowl.
You got to finish.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying, fan? It just came out. He just let it spill out right there that he's a closet Titans fan right there. Now, they're Super Bowl contenders with Ryan Tannehill.
What does Vegas say? What's the Vegas line on them? Better than Seahawks.
You go ahead and put your money on Tennessee Titans to win the Super Bowl. You go ahead and do that.
Better odds than Seahawks. That's all I'm saying.
And I got a bridge in Kansas to sell you too. Okay, some waterfront property actually in Kansas. Were you able to see the Chargers shoot themselves in the foot against the Dallas Cowboys?
Oh, I mean, it depends on how you look at it, Cam. I mean, they had some opportunities to win the game, but I mean,
depends on how you look at it.
At the end of the day, it was a little bit too much of Cowboys offense from what I saw.
No. Well, the Cowboys ran for 198, nearly 200 yards rushing that day on 31 carries. However, it was a turnover. There was 12 turnovers, 99 yards for the Chargers. They had a couple plays, touchdown plays called back because of some boneheaded a taunting call, some illegal motion called back another big play, 2 minute motion, took back another touchdown. So they had some touchdowns called back, and 7 points taken. Not 2 touchdowns and a field goal taken off the board. So 17 points taken off the board because of turnovers. That cost them the game. So the Chargers, I mean, where they kind of started off flip flopped. I thought they'd lose to Washington and beat the Cowboys. Lose to the Washington football team and beat the Cowboys, however, was flip-flop. Now they go to KC. I mean, they're coming home. They're going to be 1-2 because I don't have them beating KC. The Raiders beat your Steelers, man. What is up with your guy Mike Tomlin and Big Ben? Are they just not on the same page? Is Ben, Ben hit the tree now? He hit the wall? What's up with your Steelers? And it doesn't look like they're going to be able to. Are they just counting on Najee Harris to do too much? Is that the deal?
No, it appears that the all of the accolades for Najee Harris were a little bit premature. He's not really quite that dude. I mean, you kind of see the potential for what he could be, but not quite there just yet. With regards to Ben Roethlisberger, yeah, I think we're kind of going through that situation we're in. He is not aging gracefully, a little bit faster than they had anticipated, and it may be time to, get Haskins warmed up with all those receivers and kind of try and replicate what Big Ben has been able to do over the last 15 years.
Are you trying to shit on a rookie? Is that what I heard? Is that because he's not getting you some fantasy points? Is that why you're down on the rookie?
Oh, I mean, he's very much like a Edward Hilaire at this point. It's only been 2 games, but I mean, we'll see what he
hasn't given up any games yet.
We'll see what he can do. I mean, they're 1-1.
Oh yeah, you're salty.
I mean,
you're salty. I heard it. I can hear it in your voice. He's a little salty fan because he stole my guy. And when you take him, like in the third round, you stole him in the third round.
It doesn't matter where the draft pick was taken, Cam. I'm just saying his productivity has not been what
now he's salty.
Previously prognosticated. That's all I'm saying.
We're going to get to these fantasy football conversation later, but just remember this moment here. With 13, Clevon, this has not been a good show for you. 13 minutes into the show, man, you on the edge. You're trying to snap back at me, and then you're showing your colors by just being salty for stealing my guy. That's what you get. That's exactly what you get, in fact, for stealing my guy. You don't even know where he went to school, so we'll leave that alone. I'll give you credit though. You said the Panthers are going to be better than anticipated. I expect the Panthers to be trash, and this, whether it was the Saints riding the high from beating up on the for blitzing the Packers in week 1, they blow a gasket against the Carolina Panthers. Is this just what you expected from the Panthers?
No, this is a little bit more than I expected from them. Given the way the Saints were able to handle the Packers, I mean, the NFC, championship participant last year, that was fairly easy for them, Winston with all those touchdowns. I thought that they would be, a lot more formidable, but at the same time, Darnold looks real comfortable, right? I mean, good running game, a decent defense, some receivers to throw to, better play calling,
They're 2-0. I mean, that's about what I can say. I don't know how this is happening. It's all smoke and mirrors. I think the Saints were riding a high. They were a little high in the hall, a little fooling themselves going into that game. But now the Panthers are 2-0, and we got another week till we see how things wash out. Anybody can win 2 games back to back in the NFL. Early games, there's a lot of adjustments that go along in the NFL. So we'll see once what do you say? Once they get that proverbial book out on you, we'll see how they're able to play then when teams are actually game planning for Darnold. I don't think maybe Sean Payton wasn't actually game planning for Dalton, and they were a little high in the hog after the way they smacked around the Green Bay Packers last week. But nonetheless, they're 2-0, so give them credit for being 2-0. I mean, I don't even really want to talk about this next topic, but the Dolphins go up to Buffalo and just get blown the fuck out. Like, Tua on the third play of the game, well, it wasn't the third play because he survived one series. Second series, the line can't block anybody. The line cannot block anybody, and these Buffalo linebackers, they were just licking their chops. They were licking their chops to get a piece of this Dolphins offensive line, and in 5 plays, Tua goes down with the apparently broken ribs because he's not playing this weekend. Brissett comes in the game, and Jacoby Brissett comes in the game, and I mean, we can't blame Jacoby because he's running for his life back there. Offensive line looks terrible. Defense is no better. Although, number 5, Xavier Howard, I mean, he looks like the best player. He's clearly the best player on the team. He's looking like, again, one of the best players in the NFL on the defense side of the ball. But just one guy and playing cornerback, I mean, you can scheme away from him so he becomes a non-factor. But he finds his way to kind of get on the other side of the ball and make things happen. So, Let me say this, Clevon. Going up into last season, I wasn't with the whole tank for Tua BS. I wasn't with that. I was not with the whole tank for Tua, okay? But going into last season, we had 3, count them, 1, 2, 3 first-round draft picks. They don't draft a running back, okay? We apparently flubbed on a offensive lineman because Austin Jackson from USC can't even see the field, and we draft Tua. So going into week 3 of the second year of having 3 draft picks, where these guys are neither of these guys are seeing the field, we have our 2 number 1 draft pick from this season. One guy's on the field. One guy. So that means in 2 years, we have 5 number 1 draft picks. And only one guy's going to be on the field. That's Jalen Waddle. 1. That's a 20%. Just looking at your number 1 draft picks. Whenever you should be doing the most studying, this isn't a diamond in the rough. This isn't somebody's cousin who gave you some inside information. This is when you do your most homework. You have the best intel, supposedly, in the NFL play. So NFL establishment should have the best intel. You come up 1 for 5? 1 for 5? And I got people telling me on Twitter and on social media, "Oh, you're being too harsh on the organization. You got to give them time to develop." What? You have 5 number 1 draft picks, and I got to wait for these guys to develop now? This is a second. I'm not talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks in a draft in the rounds 1 through 5. I'm talking about 5 number 1s. 5 of the top 64 players in the league. And it's not even 64 because they were early draft picks. Because the Miami's been stinking for the last few years. So these are early draft picks. And you guys come out 1 for 5? Come on, man. You can't tell me I can't do better drafting than that. I can't evaluate talent better than that. You can give me a chance to go 1 for 5. Okay? I know I'm going to land on 2 of these guys just by having a simple conversation with them. You guys go 1 for 5, man. And you're talking about wait till next year? And we get our coach over here, mums the word. "Oh, I don't know when he's going to be back. We're just going to look at him and we'll evaluate it next week and do what's best for the team." Dude, I've had enough of this guy. I've had enough of this guy. We're 1 for. If that's not enough, you go and get waxed 35-0 by a division rival. Somebody you've seen this team 5 times, or excuse me, 6. You see them twice a year. So you personally have seen this team 6 times in the last 3 years and got beat all the time. Every time you get beat by this team. Come on, man. You got to do better than that. You got to have a better showing against your division rival. Against a team that you consistently – if it was the Seattle Seahawks who on the other side of the country, who we have no idea what they're doing over there, we don't look at their game tape, we don't look at their highlights, we don't know what's going on the other side of the country, way up in the Northwest. We don't know even – we barely know how the planes go up that direction. This is a team you travel. They come to your house, you go to their house. You've been doing this for the last 3 years. You can't do better than get shut out? Okay, your offensive line stinks. That's on you guys. That's on your selection process. Who's picking these teams? Who's coaching these guys up? So is it the scouts? Is it the GM selecting these guys? Or is it the coach coaching these guys up? Which one is it? Somebody tell me. That's what I need to know. Which one is it? Should I be mad at the scouts for saying these players are the ones that we should be selecting? Should I be mad at the GM for passing a card to Roger Goodell and saying we select this guy? We select Austin Jackson. We select the tight end or the cornerback Ibukuluki out of Clemson, who's played 6 snaps. We needed a fucking running back. Should we be mad at Clevon? You drafted an injury-prone quarterback. Injury-prone quarterback who couldn't stay healthy, and I said this 100 times already. I know you're tired of hearing it. You drafted an injury-prone quarterback who couldn't stay healthy behind the best offensive line money could buy. What did you expect to happen when you put him behind a line of a mediocre line in the pros, in the professional level? He couldn't stay healthy in college, and you're going to put him behind a mediocre line at the professional level? And what did you expect? Tell me, what did you expect? I'm fed up, man. I am fed up. I'm actually. I need some help. That's what I need. I need an intervention. I need somebody to get on the phone, send me a tweet. What's good in sports at Twitter? Why am I going off overboard here? Help me. Give me some understanding of what I should be looking forward to. Because if you're the whole thing is wait till next year. We said that last year. We said that the whole tank for Tua year, when they actually won 6 games and kind of flubbed that up. And instead of getting the number 1 pick, we get the number 5 pick. They end up winning more games than they should have. Go back before that. They're not even a playoff conversation. When should we have expectations of this team? If it's wait till next year, after you failed on 5, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, 5 number 1 draft picks. I'm not talking about the whole draft, people. I'm talking about number 1 draft picks. You failed. You hit on one guy who was a no-brainer. Jalen Waddle. Whether it was Jalen Waddle or you took Devontae Smith, you hit on one guy who was absolute no-brainer. And his catch, what is his catch? Average yard per catch, like 4.5. So that means he's only catching a slant right there. You're trying to hit him with a slant and say, Jalen, go do you. Here's a quick slant, Jalen, go do you. There's not even no schemes where we can hit him on a deep in route. Oh, we don't have the line for a quarterback to stay back there that long, to drop back, to take a 7-step drop back, and then hit the guy, our receiver, on a 20-yard route. Or we don't have a guy who could. Not only do we not have a quarterback who can make that play, we don't have a line that will give that quarterback time. But when you tell me he needs more time, I say look at the guy across the country whose offensive line is shabby. The team averages under 3 yards a carry last year. But he seems to be able to roll out. and scored 31 touchdown passes as a rookie. Passed for 31 touchdown passes. He ran for another 6, set the rookie record. I see that guy playing. He came off the bench. He didn't even know he was starting. He didn't even that guy I'm talking about. He didn't even know he was starting. He's on the sideline playing with the lineman, the second string lineman, because he's expecting that they're going to be chewing gum. And what was LeBron doing? Playing the bubble match. LeBron playing the bottle match where they're trying to play jacks over there on the sideline because he didn't expect to play. All of a sudden, the doctor punches the starting quarterback's lungs. Oh, Herbert, you're in the game. He only goes in the game and throws 31 touchdown passes on the season, run for another 5-6 touchdown passes, becomes a rookie of the year. He got drafted after Tua. Help me out, Clevon. Tell me where I'm wrong, man. Tell me where I'm wrong, where I'm off the handle, where I don't know where I'm talking about.
Okay, Cam.
Help me understand where he's going to say this guy has no clue. Football doesn't work like that. Work like what? Work like what? You got 5 draft picks and they all fail? And that's acceptable? Come on, man. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Cam, this is the moment of intervention that you have been asking for. Okay. First things first. Good news. The Miami Dolphins are in first place in their division. 3 teams are just 1-1.
Here you go.
It's very early in the season.
Here you go. You and Steve Nelson. Steve just sent you that. Steve just sent you that stat. Steve Nelson.
Hey. Let me finish. Secondly, Tua and Jalen Waddle have some chemistry there. They just need a little bit of time and opportunity to get that going.
They have chemistry.
Football is a rough game, Cam. Football is a rough game, and sometimes injuries, get in the way of, that success. So let Tua get healthy. Let him get reacclimated to the offense.
I thought this offseason was a chance for him to get healthy. I thought this offseason was a chance for him to come back even better than he did.
It was, but football is a physical, grueling sport. And again, fans, as you'll recall, I made this statement as to why I picked the Buffalo Bills defense, because they would be feasting on quarterbacks in the AFC East, and they did pitch a shutout, which is almost unheard of in fantasy football. But at the same time, the Miami Dolphins still have an opportunity to get better. This is this is when you come closer. You know what I'm saying? It's us against them. You know what I'm saying? They stop listening to all the noise. They just concentrate on what's in the locker room, Cam. And at 1-1, there's still an opportunity to do that.
Oh my goodness!
You were early. It's too soon to write them off. Come on, man. Give him a pat on the back. Give him a hug. Give him some support.
Man, you don't get out of here with that shit, man. I want production. I want W's.
Okay, well,
this is a grown man's game.
They're 1-1.
This is a grown man's
game. They're tied
for
first in their division. Give them an opportunity to get healthy and do some things. They won 10 games last year. They might win 10 games again this year. I mean, we'll see.
Well, unfortunately, there's 17 games in the schedule, so that means they're 10-7, and that means mediocre. That's what that means this year.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm saying it's a little too early to write them off completely, but there's some work to do. But let's not put everything in, our entire impression of what the Dolphins are going to be this season based upon, the second game of the year.
Against a team getting shut out by your own division, by a team in your own division. Shut out by a team.
It was that Buffalo defense. I mean,
come on, man. Come on, man. You got receivers out here dropping balls, whether it's Brissett or Tua throwing passes. You got receivers out here dropping balls. You got players not even focusing and concentrating. Like some of this, I'm swearing some of this has to be coaching,
Cam, it's a teachable moment, and again, it's not completely out of control here.
Get the hell out of here.
We'll talk again next week.
Get the hell out of here. The Broncos rout the Giants. I mean, that was expected? I think we both picked the Broncos in that game there. So the Broncos rout the Giants.
It was Jacksonville, yeah. No.
No, excuse me. It was Jacksonville got routed by the Broncos. So what's up with your boy? What's up with your boy, Urban Meyer? Is he gonna make the season or what?
I don't make the season. They've invested too much time and resources into him. Yeah, it's going to take him a season or two to realize, maybe I'm on that Steve Spurrier train. Like, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on out here, and I can't just recruit the best players all the time. So, man, how do I plug that? How do I fill that hole?
So, who had the better win over this past week? Was it Titans over the Hawks? Was it the Bears over the Bengals? Raiders over Steelers? Who had the better win this past week?
Titans over the Hawks.
Of course, you're biased. Well, I didn't even ask you that. The worst loss this week, would that be the Saints losing to the Panthers? The Giants lost a nail biter. I mean, that might have been the worst loss, the way the Giants lost a nail biter. The dude jumps no time on the clock on the final play of the game. He jumps. The nose tackle jumps, and they miss a field goal, but then because he jumps, they get another crack at it and they win. Or the Fins getting shut out by Buffalo. I mean, I don't know.
For sure. It's most definitely the Giant loss. I mean, the Fins shut out. I mean, they're playing one of the best defenses in the league, so a lot more understandable there.
Well, you accept it. Anyway, so when we look back at our week of picks, we both had Buffalo, Seattle. Well, Seattle. We got to make some changes already. So that should be 9 wins. The Washington football team losing. We had them over the Giants.
Whoa! Before you start pencil with me, Playboy, we both had all the same picks, man.
No, what I'm saying, we got to change this. We both had Seattle. I gave us both a point for Seattle. So we had that would be 9 wins on the week. Mm-hmm. We had the Ravens we had KC over the Ravens. We both had the Chargers over the Cowboys. Both had New Orleans over the Panthers, and the Steelers over the Raiders. Mm-hmm. And obviously, all those teams lost. Picks against the spread. Cleveland actually had an advantage this week. You had Cincinnati +2, New England -6, and Houston +12. And you 12.5. Yeah, you went 3. You went 3 for 3. So good work out of you. And then I only had one of those correct. One of those numbers correct. So Cleveland took the advantage in that in those combined numbers, 13-11. However, and then we all had so you got the slight advantage this week with the picks against the spread, because we had all of our confidence picks we had them all right, and we got all total points. So between the points, our picks and our picks against the spread, you were 13. I had 11 points. With our confidence picks, I'm still up in that category, 28-24. So we'll have to revisit that. So kudos to you, Cleveland. Cleveland takes a slight advantage in our pick total. So kudos to you. Don't get too carried away over there.
Yeah, and fans, we need your opinion. We need your opinion, fans. We need your opinion, fans. Should an extra bonus be added if you go perfect in any one of these categories? I say yes. Cam tends not like that, because he understands that when I go for perfection, he has no chance of catching back up. As I did go in perfection in 2 of these categories this week, so it would have been extra bonus points. I'm sure he's a little bit leery of that. But fans, if you would like to see that particular aspect of the game added, by all means, chime in.
Well, I mean, I would have got that extra point as well, sir. So when you want to beat your own
okay,
chest,
sure, that's fine. But it's in that one category. I did it in 2 categories. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, we're talking about a 1-point difference with Cleveland. When I win the whole season, we're not talking about a 1 point.
No, I'm saying fans. Again, Cam's not listening. So like a bonus of 5 points if you go perfect in one of those categories. He's trying to kind of skirt the whole ideal of that, and understandably so.
Well, I'm not sure how much the fans really believe in you trying to get you some extra points to pad your numbers, Clevon, but it's not going to work. The fans don't.
No, not at all. If you can do the same thing, you should be relishing the opportunity to get bonus points for perfection. But I know that you realize that it's unattainable on your end. So why really try and give extra points to me for doing that when that's something that you can't do?
Unobtainable on my end, Clevon. Let's settle down now. Let's settle down there, big fella. So that's our results for the NFL this week, fans. We're gonna take a break here. When we come back, we're gonna talk about the NBA. Got some things happening, some things not happening in the NBA. I think the things that's not happening are just as interesting as the things that are happening. We're gonna talk about the unveiling of the Intuit Dome. Actually, I know Clevon's been kind of shying away from this information, but we're going to open his eyes to the Intuit Dome. And then the all-important, we're going to go through our lists. We've added some names to our list of potential players to be potentially added to our top 75 list, which will be revealed next week when we have some guest hosts on the show. We're going to reveal our NBA top 75 list, but we got 25 players. We already established our top 50 last week. We got 25 players that we have to narrow down to add to our top 75 list. And then I got names and I got stats behind who should be on this list and who shouldn't be on this list. And then we'll see what Clevon has to offer, like obviously why I'm right and why he's wrong. That's how we're going to break this down. But we're going to talk about this top 75 NBA list. Come back. So Clevon, let's take a little break here. I expect this topic to be long. Let's take a little break here.
All right, 90 seconds.
90 seconds, go ahead. All right. Thank you, fans, for sticking with us. We're going to take a little commercial break while we just prepare for our segment 2. Clevon takes his little potty break, and then got to just record a couple things for the show. We thank you for chiming in. You guys can hit us up on the chat if you want to. What you think is any topics that you'd like to talk about. Man, we're always here. You can hit me up on What's Good in Sport on Twitter. That's What's Good, the letter N Sport on Twitter. Voice of Fans on Instagram. I'd like to hear what you got to say. I'd like to get some feedback on the show. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what topics that you guys that we don't cover that you'd like to see covered, because we always got some things that we can work out for you, and we don't mind working it out for you. So see covered, because we always got some things that. Additionally, like I said, hit us up on the chat. We got the chat running live here. If you wanna participate in the chat, we thank you. Clevon tried to pad his numbers, but it's we see right through that, fans. We see right through that.
Just compensation for excellence, fans. That's all I'm saying. Compensation for excellence.
His little slogans. This guy is something else. Ask Clevon who won the series last year. Just ask him that, and see if he's got so much to say about that.
Yeah, I won 2 of those 3 categories, fans.
Well, see, Clevon has a foggy memory.
Fans, ask Cam about his Daniels nightmares. Ask him about that.
That had nothing to do with our pick segments, our NBA picks.
Okay, well, I'm just saying. I mean, if we're talking about individual accolades that you're trying to, pump yourself up, I won 2 of the 3 categories.
Since you brought it up, you did this to yourself right here.
Okay, well, that's cool.
You did this to yourself.
I mean, fans, it's going to be, trophies, belts, and Cam, I've decided I want a gold jacket when I win that point total this year.
You decided you want a gold jacket?
Yeah, I want a gold jacket this year.
Tell me what Chris Carson do last week.
Just fine. Thanks for asking, man. A little bit of a
31 yarder, a 31 burger?
Well, I'm pretty sure he's going to get over 850, Cam.
I mean, 2 games. I mean,
is he on pace?
Is he on pace? Yeah, 60 yards a game. I don't know.
Yeah, there's 17 games, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so he's on pace.
But I don't know if he's going to finish the year. Like, I don't know if he's going to finish the season.
We'll see.
I said that before.
We'll see.
Kyle Pitts, I guess Kyle Pitts may not have a quarterback to get him the ball. So you might be right in that category. He doesn't look like he got a quarterback that's going to be able to survive the season. Maybe not. So let's get started, fans. Let's get started. This week, Friday morning / afternoon, Bomber was in the house giving his speech. Jerry West was in the house. They were breaking ground for the new Intuit Dome in Inglewood, California, for the Los Angeles Clippers. That is this dome. The one question that didn't ask Bomber, I should have been Bomber, is that an homage to the King Dome? Because this will be the only dome in the NBA. That's one thing I didn't ask, and I failed on that aspect. But they got media day next week. Maybe I'll be able to get that question in. Bomber says you're going to be able to go and get your hot dogs and popcorn and drinks, and not even pull out your wallet. I'm interested to know how that's going to work. Do you have to register your credit card number before you walk in, and you just scan your hand or something? I'm interested to know how that works, how that's going to work. That's going to be pretty interesting to see how that works, because he's saying he wants the fans to be able to go to the restroom, to go to the concession stands, and get back in their seats quickly during a TV timeout or something. He wants them to be back in their seats so they can watch the game. They're going to have a similar to the Seahawks. What do they call the side of the field where it goes up an angle and there's a clock at the top of the stadium? What do they call that side of the field? Do they have a name for that side of the field?
Just the open end,
Century Link, or what is it?
Nothing special about it. No.
Well, Bomber calls this the wall. It's a sound wall that's going to project sound back into the stadium. So obviously this is an indoor arena versus the outdoor arena, but the acoustics of the building it's a sound wall that's going to project sound back into the stadium. And I wouldn't be surprised if they have that sound kind of tilted toward the visiting bench, if you will. I mean, if they're able to do that, just have the sound bounce around and aim that direction. That'd be pretty interesting. But that's what Bomber calls it. He wants to be loud. He wants to be crazy. You got to check out the video I did with the Intuit Dome on Voice of the Fans on the YouTube page, because this Intuit, it's going to be spectacular, man. He's going to have live screens outside the venue. So, and quote, when we win the championship, all the fans who's not able to be in the building can be at the facility watching it on this big screen. This big screen is going to be just on the side of a basketball court, so fans will be able to play basketball and play the game as they're seeing the game, if you will. So it brings a new feel. Obviously, they're going to have he's competing. He's across the street from SoFi Stadium, so he's going to be competing kind of with what they got going on over there, plants and fields and greenery, which you don't see a lot of greenery in Los Angeles, oddly enough. The sun's always out, but you just don't see enough parks, is what I'm trying to get at, and open air venues. So there's going to be courts outside the stadium, full length courts outside the arena, so you can play hoop games, and they can have travel leagues play on these courts. But then as you walk into the arena, it's going to be open air arena. Not open air, a lot of wide open spaces. Some things that he took from different arenas that he traveled to. Some of the things that he liked from Utah apparently was he liked the crowd noise and how that crowd noise was disseminated throughout the arena. The Chase Center, they have wide escalators, wide hallways for the players or for the fans to kind of get through. So everybody's shuffling through a lot of the time. It's not narrow hallways like you see in some arenas. They're gonna have wide seating. The sight lines is supposed to be able to see if the lady's 5 foot and the guy's 6 foot in front of him. in front of her, she's supposed to be able to see over him, no problem, see the court. So a lot of interesting things that they've done here, similar to SoFi Stadium, where SoFi Stadium, if you've seen the videos at all, has a big video screen that's dual-sided that circles the field almost. It's not like Jerry World where the big video screen kind of is overbearing, if you will. If you're in the Jerry World and you're up above the 100 level, you're looking at the screen watching the game. You're not looking at the field because the screen's so freaking big, like on either side of it. It just kind of overpowers you, if you will. Well, at SoFi Stadium, they have what they call it the Oculus now. I forget what the name they changed it to, but they have the big dual-sided multi-million LED light screen that allows you to see things in this high definition. But it allows you to see a lot of what's on the screen. You see how you pregame. What I like about at SoFi Stadium, pregame, like they show, is the best red zone area in all the land. You see all the football games, and like you have a 55-inch screen at your house. This might be 1,000-inch screen or even more, 1,500-inch screens. You see each game on a 1,500 screen because they can show it like that. Inside the screen and outside the screen is pretty cool. So they're going to have something similar to that inside the Intuit Dome. It's not as big as a basketball arena, so not big as SoFi, so that screen is not going to be as big. But you're going to be able to kind of have stats and keep along with the game by having this big scoreboard. You know, the circular scoreboard, dual-sided, is kind of what the league is going to now, or what the new technology is. So it's going to be really dope, man. You got to check it out. You got to hear what Ballmer has to say about it. You got to hear what Jerry West has to say about it. He kind of compares it to he took us back to when he went into the Forum, and he thought the Forum was so spectacular when he went to go play in there early. And then he kind of when he said he went into the Staples Center, and he said, wow, what a place would this be? But then he kind of cleaned it up, or not even cleaned it up, but then he just kind of went into everything, 36,000 man hours that went into the building and designing the concept of this Intuit arena. It's going to be super dope. You guys got to take some time to look at it. I'll have my article will be posted on this probably tomorrow. I'll post my article so you can check that out. What's good in sports. And then again, I have you can go right now and look at the video on Voice of the Fans after the show, I should say. After the show, click on the Intuit Dome unveiling, and you'll see the whole kind of video we put together on that. So it's pretty dope, man. It's going to be exciting. The Clippers in 2024-25 will have their own venue. No longer will they have to play the 12:30 noon game, and have that disadvantage because they're the third team in the arena when they still got to play a hockey game and then a Laker game later that day or night or what have you. No longer will they have to play a 12:30 game on Sunday or a 12:30 game on Saturday. They had to do that multiple times, and if you remember, they kind of get waxed in those games because you're playing a live game at 12:30 at noon. It's kind of bizarre. But they got the bad end of the stick, being the third tenant in the Staples Center. So in a few years, they're gonna have their own arena. It's gonna be pretty cool. Clevon, have you seen any of the videos? Did you see what Ballmer had to say? Did you see what Jerry West had to say? And what's your thoughts on this new Intuit Dome?
I've seen a few renderings of the facility. It looks amazing and awesome. I've heard a few sound bites with regards to what Jerry West was saying. Haven't really heard a whole lot about Ballmer. But again, let's congratulate Mr. Steve Ballmer. I mean, the 10th richest man on planet Earth. I know it's been, a pet project and a passion of his to kind of separate and differentiate and give the Los Angeles Clippers an identity of their own. For so many years, they've been having to share the spotlight with the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's just been unfair with regards to the amount of success that they've been able to have. And when you have to share the building with someone that's won 17 championships, and you have to cover up the banners every time
we're talking about the Clippers. in their new arena. I'm not sure how the Lakers come to play.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not even sure how the Lakers come to play.
Cam, let me finish.
I don't think the fans
want to hear about the Lakers right now. To kind of break away and create your own identity in the state-of-the-art fashion. I mean, let's not forget, fans, this is one of the, founding fathers of a little company called Microsoft. So, he's had all of his friends kind of, come to the forefront with regards to kind of giving their expertise to making this a first-class facility. So I have no doubt that thing probably lifts up because that thing probably lifts up off the ground, turns around. The top might even come off on a sunny day. That's just how much technology Steve Ballmer has access to. So I would not be surprised if that happened. Like you said, you don't even gotta, pay for your hot dog. You just go up and say, "Hey, yeah, it's what Ron ordered." Like, "Oh, okay, yeah, Ron, it's right here." Boom, go back to your seat. Watch the Clippers, man. And
so
it has to be a better environment for the players to play in. The players obviously want to go there, right? So it makes it somewhat of a destination franchise. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully all this hard work and all these billions of dollars that have been invested in the stadium, around the stadium, will pay off and it will come to fruition. And, hopefully the Los Angeles Clippers are able to win a championship, which is what Steve Ballmer's ultimate dream is.
You know what? If this wasn't the most backhanded compliment that you gave the Steve Ballmer and the Clippers, I'm gonna play this clip. I'm gonna save this clip and let Ballmer hear himself. I might send him the videotape of this
because it's all about respect, Mr. Ballmer. It's all about respect. I respect your stature. I respect your enthusiasm. I respect your commitment to building a first-class organization, starting with the facility.
You know what, man? I'm not even asking you any more questions. We're gonna move on from that one. What do you think about JJ Reddick, former Clipper, retiring this year? Before I let you get into it, let me tell you what I think about JJ Reddick. I appreciate JJ Reddick's game. And I appreciate the career he's had. Let me say that JJ Reddick has had, because coming from Duke, he was just kind of a catch and shoot shooter. That's really what he was, just a kind of a knockdown catch and shoot shooter. And that's really all he could do. But he spent some time with the Clippers. He spent his time in the league. He was able to kind of develop into a guy who can kind of pump fake and now put it on the floor and get to the rim when need to. I'm not going to say he ever became a true playmaker, if you will, but he became a player who can now get his own shot. It wasn't only catch and shoot. As somebody came out to defend him, he could get his own shot. I just thought the development of JJ Reddick throughout his career was an impressive development. You don't see a lot of guys coming to the league catch and shoot shooters who develop that way. Either they remain catch and shoot shooters, they may add the pump fake and be able to get step in and shoot another jumper. But he was able to, during his time with the Clippers, actually become he wasn't a liability, and that's. Maybe I'm getting credit for just not being a liability anymore, and it could just kind of develop in his game. I thought he was a good. He's not a Hall of Famer by any means. I mean, don't even get what I'm saying twisted. I just thought he had a good career, solid career. Shout out to JJ Reddick for what he did, and I just like the way that his game developed throughout his career. Your thoughts on Mr. JJ Reddick?
Would have liked to have seen him establish himself as a little bit more of a sharpshooter than he was. He was kind of last 5 years, it was kind of like, it's either going to go in or go, or not go in 40% of the time. And he's just kind of chucking it up there to kind of, see if it's going to go this time. And I didn't like the way the last 2 seasons kind of went for JJ. His time in New Orleans, his time in Dallas,
was that his
time in Philly. His time in Philly was kind of so. I mean, the last 3 or 4 seasons seemed a little half-hearted to me.
Wow, he's shitting on JJ Reddick. You say you didn't like his time in New Orleans. I mean, he wasn't even a star there. He was
Well, why did he leave and go to New Orleans, and why didn't he stay in Philadelphia then?
Shit, I think they paid him what did they say? They paid him a bunch of dough. That's why he left.
Okay, well, he had an illustrious 50. I mean, if you play 15 plus years in the league, that means you're somebody. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying he's nobody. I'm just saying that I would have liked to have seen this a little bit more from him.
Only 1 year in JJ. This is impressive. Only 1 year in JJ Reddick's career was his ultimate free field goal percentage under 50%. Only one season. That's pretty damn impressive, big guy. Okay, he played for 6 different teams, but only 1 year did his average field goal percentage was under 50%. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Good player, good shooter, man. That's cool.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. That's. I mean, what? Because he didn't wear the purple and gold. Now you.
No, I'm just saying. I think we spent enough time on JJ Reddick. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
good player.
Okay. Wow. And to your point, his last season, he last season actually with Toronto. That's probably where he finished. He was 37% from 3. So, to your point, what do you do with Ben Simmons? Ben Simmons now digs in and says, "I don't want to come to camp. I'm not going to report to camp." What would you do if you're Del Morey? Like, what do you do there?
Got to trade him. I mean, what is the alternative? I mean, waiting until he decides that he wants to come to camp. I mean, or come to the team. I mean, he doesn't want to be in that environment. I'm not sure that I would want to go back to Philadelphia, being 25, 26 years old. My whole life in front of me, and realizing that I'm not a very good fit here. No one seems to really want to acknowledge that. They keep to seem, to wanting to make the square peg fit in the round hole. He does not fit there.
Well, I mean, that's because
he's got a lot of talent in a lot of different ways. He's not a good fit in Philadelphia.
It's not that he's not a good fit in the.
That is exactly what it is. He's not a good fit. He can't shoot. He's limited in his skills, and he doesn't complement Joel Embiid. He's not a good fit there.
He doesn't complement. So they get to the conference finals because he's not a compliment to Joel Embiid. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's in spite of that. Yeah, it's because Joel Embiid was beasting all year.
So I'm gonna go back, and I'm gonna stick with this. Before I get to this trade, I just kind of blew my mind. I heard today that were rejected. I'm gonna go back to this one here, and I'm actually in this trade machine right now. So stick with me, fans. But here's the trade I want to do. I want to send him south to this doesn't look as bad as I thought. But I want to send him south to Charlotte. And because Clevon, to your point, he doesn't fit in. Because he doesn't fit into you, as you would say, this is what I want to do. I'm not looking for a lot back in return. Obviously, you're gonna have to make the money match up. But what I want to do is I want to go south to Charlotte for Gordon Hayward and the rookie Book Knight. Let me see if that works. Mm-hmm. That works. Mm-hmm. That works right there. Mm-hmm. So what Charlotte gets is a defender, all-pro defender, right? Mm-hmm. To match up with. They got Lamar Ball or LaMelo Ball, the ball handler. So they don't need a ball handler. They got Terry Rozier, obviously, also able to handle the ball. They get an all-pro defender and a veteran in the league in the sense that he can show some of these young cats like what to do in high intense moments against good teams. Like he's going to be that leader on the defensive side of the ball. That's what he's going to do. That's what one of their problems was last season. Is Charlotte didn't play defense. So now for Gordon Hayward, who, I mean, what can you expect from Gordon Hayward anyway, right? He's not taking you guys over the hump. For Philadelphia, he can get you guys some more points. And then you take the rookie Book Knight, pair him with Tyrone Maxey off the bench, and you might have something there. You might have a good little 1-2 combination 2 or 3 years down the line, and you get Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward, he's going to fit in wherever he goes, and so now you need Tobias Harris to step up and play with Embiid a little bit better. What do you think about that trade?
Yeah, Philadelphia's never going for that.
I mean, if he's a problem, what are you expecting to get back? What do you expect?
You have to get back at least 2 All-Stars, Cam, or an All-Star, a good player in several picks. Your little trade machine thing was like laughable.
He laughed at. Hey, this worked. This is an ESPN trade machine. This worked.
So dollar wise, years and dollars. Is that how that's measured? Or,
years.
It's not measured by impact on the court. Clearly.
Again, if you're Philadelphia and you just want to get rid of some dead weight,
that's not what Philadelphia wants to do. They understand the value of their asset, but their asset is disgruntled, so they have to move it. It's not a matter of what they want to do,
you're not going to get your number one. You're not going to get the number ones that you're looking for.
I'm sorry.
So you're not going to get the number ones that you're looking for.
Well, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You're not.
You'll get a better trade package, an opportunity than Gordon Hayward and some of it. Yeah, that's not going to get it done.
I don't know, man. I send them to Charlotte and kind of. It's not like they're going to be competing for the Eastern Conference Championship right away.
I'm sure in a great situation for who? No one, right?
What do you mean? They get.
I'm sorry, Charlotte gets really, really good, and Philadelphia gets nothing for Ben Simmons. Okay, no more picking the draft.
Again, what has he done for you? What has he done for you recently? So the trade that KD blocked. Did you hear about the KD blocked this trade? Sending Ben Simmons to the Nets for your guy, Kyrie Irving. KD that doesn't work. Yeah. KD says, no, why would you have 2 6'10" guys? One of them that can shoot the lights out, and one of them that can't shoot from 5 feet away. It doesn't make them any better. Because what was your complaint about the Nets last season? What was your complaint about the Nets last season?
Chemistry, head cases.
No, nobody played defense. That was
that's obvious. But I mean, you don't trade Kyrie for someone that can't shoot at all.
I mean, at least we know Ben Simmons will be in the gym on Tuesday night when Atlanta.
That's very true. To be perfectly honest with you, there's probably still enough shots between KD and James Harden.
Right. But they don't need anybody. They don't need another shooter on the team. I think that was a good trade. Yeah. But I can understand why KD said, "No, that's not."
Addition by subtraction. I see kind of part of the logic, but not Kyrie.
I mean, that would have been kind of shady if KD was like, "Yeah, go ahead and make that." And considering, Kyrie brought him to Brooklyn, so that would have been kind of shady. What do you think about this NBA kind of now requiring players fans, to have vaccines or negative test results before they attend games this season? Like, some places around town, not only in the sports world, are kind of saying this should go down. What do you think about the NBA requiring this now?
I like it. Closed arena, being proactive. The players move around so much that, positive COVID tests, impact so many games kind of all at once that I like the stance that they're taking.
Okay. I don't disagree with it. Obviously, I'm vaccinated, so I'm comfortable going anywhere. I don't disagree with it. I think it's taking a step forward. And you're just kind of forcing people now who don't want to get vaccinated to get vaccinated. Or, if you continue to get those who continue to take these tests who are refusing to get vaccinated, at what point do you get tired of taking these tests? And let me just go ahead and get vaccinated, man. And go ahead and be done with it. At what point, how many tests you got to take for you before you just go ahead and get the shot, man? I don't know what the hold up is there. You're vaccinated, I'm vaccinated. We believe in the vaccination. It's better for everybody involved. If you haven't been vaccinated, think back to the days where everybody had to get the immunization test when they went to school. Every year you got to have your shots before you win in the class, right? This isn't much different. Every year for anybody who plays sports, you got to go get your physical done. This isn't much different. I mean, you what's going on in this Delta variant? What's going on in this world today, man? Just get the vaccine and protect yourself, protect everybody who's around you, and be done with that. Cleveland, Indiana is doing something I actually hadn't heard of before. We got in Ohio, we got the National Football Hall of Fame. Not too long ago, they had the National Basketball Hall of Fame introduction in Springfield, Massachusetts. Indiana says, damn all that. We're going to have the Larry Bird Museum. We're going to have the Larry Bird. You're going to come here and see all things Larry Bird. I'm not mad at that. Instead of a statue out in front of what is it? Skyline Arena, Indiana, Pacers Arena. They're going to have in Terre Haute, Indiana, they're going to have a Larry Bird Museum. And apparently Larry's on board because he's donated some stuff to the Larry Bird Museum. Like, what do you think about this? Is this groundbreaking? So pretty soon we're going to see an MJ museum. We're going to see a Kobe museum. Now, Kobe has a bunch of stuff that they're already talking about kind of putting some of that stuff together. Is more of the Mama Academy stuff where they'll put Kobe stuff on display. But what do you think about the Larry Bird Museum?
The first thing that came to mind was, the way Elvis is in Memphis, man. I mean, he's the king of that area, man. It serves to reason that, Larry Bird is the king of Indiana. Greatest player to ever come out of there, French Lick. There'll never be one better. I mean, why not give a testament to him?
I'm not mad at it, man. I am not mad at that. And like I say, Larry Bird's on board because he's donated some stuff to the museum. Is this a wave of the future? Can you see more of this going on? Can you see a Shaq museum in
you can definitely see it being kind of marginalized and kind of people trying to kind of take advantage of the opportunity to capitalize on it monetarily. But I think that this will probably be the first and maybe the only that for unselfish reasons, just more of a testimony and a tribute to their guy. I think the ones that will come after this will be a lot more ulterior motives than this one has. I think just Larry's our guy, and a museum all to him just kind of makes sense. Kind of give him that part of the country, right?
So when LeBron puts his up in Akron, Ohio, it won't have the same feel as what you're saying.
It won't have the same feel. Correct.
Yeah, okay. Look at that. I like that. That's some objectivity from Clevon. It took him 11 years and an hour and 7 minutes for him to show some objectivity towards that guy who wears number 23, number 6. I don't know what jersey. Where's he wearing this year?
It's number 6 this year.
Is he gonna try to be number 9 like the Doc? Like, well, I don't even know. But
6 like the Doc. Yeah.
It took him all of 11 years and an hour and 10 minutes to show something. Jeff, I like it. Cleveland. That's some growth right there. I'm proud of you, sir. I bow to you for showing that. How does it feel? How does it feel to show some objectivity right now?
I mean, Cam, it's nothing any different than I bring to every show. I mean, when the opportunity presents itself to kind of give my opinion, I voice my opinion, as honestly as I can.
No, objectivity is what you brought here. And again, just happened to be the next topic. Your Lakers, they're planning a mini vacay before training camp on their way to Vegas. Like, what I want to know, not only I'm not really concerned. We know what's going to go happen in Vegas. You've been to Vegas. I've been to Vegas. We know what's going to happen in Vegas. I want to know what products is going to be endorsed coming out of Vegas. What products next week will number 6, number 0, number 3? Will they have in the works when they start promoting next week?
Cam, what they're going to start promoting is those 2022 NBA champion Los Angeles Lakers shirts.
Oh, please.
That they all have
all right, moving on.
A portion of.
All right, let's move on to the next subject. We're going to talk about our top 75 NBA Cleveland and his please. Fans, I know neither one of you guys want to hear that malarkey. Here's what we're going to do, Clevon.
Okay.
Fans, you guys know we've been working on developing our top 75 players of NBA history. The NBA, their season's going to start here shortly. So next week is their media day for the Los Angeles teams. So the NBA season is going to be just a couple weeks following. I think, in fact, there's games next weekend. NBA preseason games next weekend. So next week we will unveil our total list. We're going to have some guest hosts on there so they can critique our list. The guest host is going to be the guy from Hoops and Brews. Shout out to those guys, Pavi World, and TPJ of Hoops and Brews. We're going to bring them on the show to critique our list. But Clevon, before we get to that, let's talk about what we've done thus far. Last week we identified some of the players who should be taken off the original top 50 list. The original top 50 list, we identified some guys who should be taken off. We identified the guys who should be put on. So we'll just give a quick rundown. Paul Arzine, I have him being replaced by Dwayne Wade. Fans, if you want to chime in and challenge these picks or adjustments to the top 50 list, please do so. Clevon, how can they get a hold of you?
At Clevy Wonder on Twitter and Clevon Steele on Instagram.
You can get a hold of me. What's Good in Sport is my Twitter handle. What's Good, the letter in sports, or Voice of Fans on Instagram. Get a hold of me either way. But just let me know how you feel about these adjustments. Dave Bing has been replaced by Kobe Bryant. Any objections there?
Not on this side.
Dave Cowens, Celtics big man, former Celtics big man, has been replaced by Tim Duncan. I mean, this is pretty elementary, right? Billy Cunningham, sharpshooter for the Philadelphia 76ers, swingman, big-time swingman, has been replaced by Kevin Durant. I don't really see any issues here. Dave DeBusschere, former New York Knicks power forward, he's been replaced by Kevin Garnett. I mean, I don't see – I like somebody to challenge some of these. Hal Greer, sharpshooter, believe he played for the Celtics. He's being replaced by Stephen Curry. I mean, still, tell me when you have some objection here, Clevon. Any objection? We're open to any objection.
Not right just yet. No.
Okay, that's good to know. So we have Hal Greer being replaced by Stephen Curry. Hal Greer, 76, or he played for Syracuse, a bunch of years, and then he played for the 76ers. Averaged 7.6 points a game. Averaged 19 points a game. That was 7.6 shots. Shot 45%. Shot 45% from the floor. 19 points, 4 assists. That's what he did. Yeah, he gets replaced by Steph Curry. So we also have Bob Pettit getting replaced by Dirk Nowitzki. Dolph Schayes gets replaced by LeBron James. Bill Sharman gets replaced by Steve Nash. Nate Thurmond gets replaced by Tony Parker. So the new list was kind of guard heavy. Nate Thurmond, Tony Parker. I try to match them up with the kind of their guys that play their roles, a similar role if at all possible. Nate Thurmond and Tony Parker was two distinct opposites, but I think Tony Parker and what he was able to do with his time, we discussed this last week, his time with the San Antonio Spurs was more influential than what Nate Thurmond did in his career. So that gives us a top 50 list, right? 50 players. We just slightly modified that original top 50 list stuck in some new age players, and now to get to 75, I think I have 30 names that we need to narrow down to get to 35. And I'll just do a little, let me go to my spreadsheet here. I'll just do a little check mark on those who we feel needs to be on this list versus those who we feel doesn't need to be on this list. So Clevon, I need your help with this. Again, I have names to be added. I have actually 20, 25 names. And
okay.
If you can think of more, let me know. Fans, your opinion is very crucial with this too, because I know Clevon. I know Clevon. He's going to be off somewhere. Somewhere he's going to be off.
No, my list was pretty much spot on, Cam. As far as adding, the greatest. That's what I do.
In fact, I'm gonna tell the fan. I'm gonna be.
It's the mediocrity I can't deal with, Cam. It's the greatness I can always spot, identify.
So Manu Ginobili. Any objection to Manu being on this list?
I mean, a little bit, but not a lot.
You're saying Manu Ginobili doesn't make the top 75 players in NBA history? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I said throw him on there. I didn't. I said a little bit, not a lot.
Okay, I'm just trying to clarify, man. The fans are concerned about you already. We just got started on the list, and fans is already concerned. Ray Allen, does Ray Allen belong on this list?
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, does Kawhi Leonard belong on this list?
Kawhi belongs on the list.
Giannis, does Giannis belong on the list?
Giannis is on the list.
Klay Thompson belong on this list.
Little bit, not a lot.
Wow, so you got Manu is a questionable for you, and Klay Thompson is questionable for you.
Little bit of a question, not a lot of question, Cam. Don't overblow this.
I mean,
little bit.
I mean,
little bit.
Question is a question.
Little bit.
How is it? Little
75 all time. I mean, a little bit.
Top say
not a lot.
Okay. All right. See, this is why we do this. This is why we do this, and this is why I got Manu, sir. 4 championships, 2-time All-Pro, 2-time NBA All-Star. That four rings isn't enough for you?
It's a lot of rings. I like jewelry. So yeah.
So Klay Thompson, 3 of them. I didn't even look up his stats because it was 3 of them, and he played more defense. He played without him. Steph Curry is not allowed to go do what he does. Okay, so that's surprising me. Does Gary Payton belong on this list? You see, maybe you're not the one.
GP belongs on the list. A little bit, not a lot. Little bit of trepidation, not a lot.
A little bit. Okay, just fans. Just I know you guys can't see this list, but. Just as out of the 25 I have listed, and you only heard 5 of them right now, there's one player who has more all defense appearances than Gary Payton. One. And I guarantee if I mention this player's name, you're not going to put him in the same level as all defensive players.
Well, I mean, spoiler alert, if it's Ben Wallace, and the answer would be no.
No, Ben Wallace doesn't have as many all defense teams is Gary Payton. Gary Payton, 9-time All-Star, 9-time All-Pro, 9-time All-Star, 9 times All-NBA. And you're questioning that means he's in the All-Decade team, essentially. And you're questioning whether Gary Payton deserves to be on this.
I said a little bit, not a lot.
Again,
you're making too much of this.
Clevon, you might not be the one.
I said a little bit, not a lot.
This.
So the rest of your list.
Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce deserves to be on this list.
A little bit, not a lot.
Oh my goodness, he's questioning Paul Pierce. Okay, now watch check out the bias here when I say this name. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis deserves to be on this list.
I mean, I think Anthony's probably get pretty close. A little bit, not a lot. He's been a little fragile throughout his career, and needs a little bit more extensive body of work to be an absolute.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, fans, but that was another sense of some objectivity right there from Clevon. That was okay. All right, so Anthony Davis is a maybe. Wow. Allen Iverson, Reggie Miller, two hands down, right? The Chauncey Billups deserve to be in the top 75. 2-time All-Defense, 5-time All-Star, 3 times All-Pro, and the leader of the 2004 NBA championship squad. Does Chauncey Big Shot Billups deserve to be in the NBA top 70? Well, the Voice of the Fans NBA top 75 list. Say it. Say it. Don't hesitate. Don't bite your tongue. I can see what you're thinking. I can see what you're thinking right now. Go ahead and say it.
Not on my list. I mean, if okay. You know, I'll listen to the debate, but no.
Hey, the debate is really no debate. 2-time All-Defense, 5-time All-Star.
That gets you to the 75 greatest players of all time, for real. Well, I mean, that's enough of a pedigree to do that.
Okay, all right. So I got actually that one. I mean that requires a debate. I feel you. Dominique Wilkins did not make the original top 50 list. What I think was a travesty. 7-time All-Star, 9 times All-Pro. He was All NBA more times than he was an NBA All-Star. I think he makes the top 75. You disagree?
Just from a childhood perspective, it would be hard for me to. I don't know.
He disagrees with that.
I'll put him right on that fence, man. We're talking about 75, and he didn't make the original 50. Okay. And we're adding 35.
I thought it was a travesty that he didn't make the original.
I thought
50.
so at the time as well, Cam. I mean, you know, he's on the fence on the 75. He's on the fence.
Damian Lillard. Did Damian Lillard?
Yep. He's in there.
Now, how does Damian Lillard make it, but Dominique doesn't?
I mean, because Dame Dollar has changed the game. He shoots from the logo, man. Get out of here.
The human highlight reel, nobody was doing it like him.
Nobody does 360 dunks in game. Nobody does 360 dunks in game. You're absolutely right.
Only one person who arguably kind of did it like him, and that was the greatest ever, who kind of took that game to a different level.
I mean, you know, I'm the one that said Dominique got robbed in the slam dunk contest. It's still, you know, one of the bigger travesties of the NBA. But hey,
he did get robbed. There's no
so if ands or buts about that. Yeah, got robbed.
You weren't alone. You weren't alone in that one. Okay.
Top 75 all time. I'm a fan with it. Dame Dollar, no man, he shoots from the logo.
Okay, so we still got some conversations to be had.
Okay,
Russell Westbrook.
Throw him in there.
You'll throw him in there?
Throw him in
there. So Dominique can't get in there, but you'll just throw Russell in there. Interesting.
Well, I mean, Russ has gotten a lot of, you know, notoriety and accolades for his, his all-around game, triple doubles and whatnot. So yeah, I'll give him top 75, sure. Breaking Oscar Robinson's, triple double record. Okay, he's in there.
James Harden.
Body of work, I don't know. He is an innovator. He has changed the game. He does score at will.
How could you be questioning James Harden but not Russell Westbrook? And I think James Harden goes in.
You think James Harden goes in for Russell Westbrook?
I think James Harden goes in
on his top 75 list
before Damian Lillard.
You think James Harden goes for Damian Lillard?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
I disagree with that.
9-time All-Star, 7-time All-Pro. Damian Lillard's only been a 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-Pro. I mean, an All-Pro is All NBA. Like, you make an All NBA.
And Harden has an NBA MVP under his belt for sure.
Boom, yeah. Boom. Arguably should have won another 1 or 2, maybe.
It's arguable.
Yeah, I think Harden is that. Come on, now I don't even highlight his name. Does Chris Paul make the top 75 NBA list.
Well, you said he was top 10 point guard all the time, so of course he makes the list.
But I'm asking you. This is our list. This is not.
Well, I mean, I had to back it all the way down. I mean, how long did we go around and round about that, man? Yeah.
Chris Paul.
I'm on there.
Chris Paul has 9 all defensive team nominations. I didn't recognize that. 10-time All-Pro, 10-time All-Star, 11-time All-Pro. I didn't realize he had 9 all defensive appearances, and that's the guy I was talking about when I said him and Gary Payton is the only guys on this list with 9. And you're not going to tell me at all Chris Paul is a defender like Gary Payton was. I mean, you're not going to make that argument, would you?
No, I won't make that argument.
I don't think anybody would. Draymond Green make the top 75.
Not on my list.
Draymond Green's not on your list.
No.
Three-time NBA champion. Rebounds, defends.
Top 75 all time. Not on my list.
He has. Now I didn't look up his numbers, but he has an all defensive.
Is this the part where you stat me to death?
No, I'm just no.
I mean, the eye test in and of itself says he doesn't make the list, right?
The eye test. Wow. No, I'm just saying. That's kind of the differentiator is what these guys have done in their. Here you go, 3-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 6-time All Defensive Squad, 3-time NBA champ.
Those not 75 greatest players of all time type numbers, man. No, wow. So sorry.
Okay. Does Chris Bosh make the list? 11-time All-Star, 1-time All-Pro, 2-time champion. 1-time all that
wouldn't hurt it wouldn't crush me if he was left off the list.
Yeah, that was I didn't recognize he was 11-time All-Star. Does Kyrie Irving make your top 75 list?
I think he makes the list, Cam. It's controversial, I know it, but I think he makes the list.
Because of his ball handling?
His ball handling is clutch and his all around.
What makes him clutch? What makes him clutch? Is it the one shot that he made in the finals? That's it. Well, you make that shot, you're clutch forever.
It brings it to another level. It shows that you're able to do it at the highest, at the highest level when it counts the most.
But without, and this is when I'm not even gonna. Without LeBron carrying them to the finals, what has he done? Can't say not a lot. I mean, he's shown his, the repertoire of his game at, many instances. And I think 75 I think he makes the list, man. He's making the list because of the one shot that he made to win the championship. That's how he makes your list. That's kind of a surprising when somebody talks about want to have some history or longevity behind it. So surprising you'll give him this after one shot.
I mean, it may be a little bit premature, but I think that we've seen enough to know that, given what he's capable of and, some of the players who've taken off the list, that he probably deserves to be on the list.
Does Paul George make your top 75 lists?
I'm not throwing a fit if he's on there.
Four-time all defense. Four-time all defense. 7-time All-Star. 6.
Nah, man, you don't make the list. You don't make the list, man. I'm sorry, I thought about that for a second. Paul George cannot be on my 75 greatest players of all time list. I'm so sorry.
We got more to go. We got more to go, and we got some more names to spit out here. Does Dwight Howard make your top 75 list? No. Dwight, Rookie of the Year. 5-time All-Defensive Player. 8-time All-Star. 8-time All-Pro. And an NBA champion with your Los Angeles Lakers. He's not in the top 75? We're not talking about, look, this isn't what he could have been. This isn't what he could have been. This is what he's done. He's already done.
I have to rethink that one, man. Off the break, I'm not feeling
like, wow. Wow. You have to think about Dwight Howard. Like,
yeah,
obviously he's not the favorite guy.
Not. He's not a first ballot on this team for sure. We gotta go back and discuss it. Do some more research and numbers and really talk about this.
I mean,
before he's one of the 75 greatest players ever played basketball. No, so sorry. Won't do it.
I think off of what he did in Orlando alone makes him.
Nah, man, won't do it, man. It's not enough.
Okay,
not enough.
Does Pau Gasol make your all-time top 75 list?
I don't think so.
Rookie of the year. Pau Gasol has 6 all-defensive nominations. 6. Pau Gasol. 4-time All-Star, 4-time All-Pro, and 2-time NBA champion. Not in your top 75?
I don't think so.
No. Woo. This is a tough list, y'all. This is a tough list. I think Pau gets in. I think Pau gets in before this next guy gets in. Carmelo Anthony, top 75 NBA player.
Top 10 all-time scorer, he's in.
So why does it the all-defensive team, all-stars, and a 2-time champion get in?
You know, hoop is all about scoring, Cam. Don't talk to me about that defensive nonsense, man.
Oh boy. Okay. Is Ben Wallace an all top 75 all-time player? What about Rudy Gobert? Is Rudy Gobert top 75 all NBA player? No. So we've taken 1, 2, 3. 3 players have been ejected from their nomination. Chauncey Billups, Ben Wallace, Rudy Gobert. Who the debate is about now, fans, and what we need your feedback on, fans. Manu Ginobili, Klay Thompson, Paul Pierce, Anthony Davis. Dominique Wilkins isn't even in this list. The human highlight reel is on the questionable list right now. Draymond Green, Chris Paul, Paul Pierce, and Dwight Howard. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And please don't leave Paul.
Guys.
And please don't leave Paul George off of that list.
I didn't mention Paul George.
You did not. No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Draymond Green, Chris Bosh, Paul George, and Dwight Howard. I thought I mentioned him. This, fans, we need your feedback. We need your feedback on this one. Once again, Voice of Fans on Instagram. What's Good in Sport on Twitter. Clevon, where can they find you?
At Clevy Wonder on Twitter and Clevon Steele on Instagram.
Next week, we will decide. Well, we'll have the guys from Hoops and Brews on with us to debate. If Manu Ginobili, I think not Manu just shoe in, but for the sake of argument, Klay Thompson, I think is a shoe in for the sake of argument. Paul Pierce, 10-time All-Star. What are we talking about? Dominique Wilkins, Draymond Green. I didn't even look at Draymond's numbers. I thought it was so automatic.
Because there's no numbers to look up. Don't waste your time.
Chris Bosh. Now I can see Chris Bosh. I'm not gonna go up in a stink, but he does have 11 All-Stars, 2 championships. Paul George, and I'm surprised Dwight Howard doesn't make your list. I'm surprised by that.
He had those 4 good years, man, where he was dominant.
But that was 2009. In 2021, he's back on your Laker team, right? Going for his 2nd ring.
Giving us as much as he can give us in those 12 minutes, and we appreciate it.
Was he not a factor? Was he not a factor in your championship 2 years?
Absolutely, he was. Give him toughness, rebounding, defense. You know, funny guy in the locker room. You always think the funny guy.
Championship caliber.
Does impersonations and stuff. He's funny.
Wow.
He's got personality.
Wow. So he said she got a good personality. That's why you did. That's why he's around. Oh wow.
I think he makes some pretty good chicken wings from what I hear. I mean, you know, deep fryers.
That's a cold one. That is a cold one. He got a good personality. So Anthony Davis, he said he needs more time. He said he needs more time. I was surprised to hear that one. Fans, let us know what we got it wrong, because we have without question, Ray Allen, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis, Gary Payton, Allen Iverson, Reggie Miller. Damian Lillard might have a check mark. When it comes down to it, we're gonna see if he fits in there. We're gonna see, you know, how many people. What's that at the club? I mean, we might be at our fire level. we may be at our maximum
capacity.
Maximum capacity. And Damian and his group might have to exit stage left.
Okay.
Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, Paul Gasol, Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo's another maximum capacity guy.
Carmelo Anthony is the 10th greatest scorer in the history of the NBA.
I mean, and did he win?
That's not impressive for you.
No. Did he
name the other 9 players and then tell me what you think about them?
Did he lead any of those teams to the NBA Finals? Did he, Carmelo Anthony, lead them to the NBA Finals? Did he, Carmelo Anthony, take them to the Western Conference Finals?
Cameron, I'll say this again. Of all the players that have ever played professional basketball in the history of the NBA, you can't name 10 players that have scored more points than Carmelo Anthony.
Wow, he's stuck on a boy Carmelo.
I mean, just say that out loud. Just say that 3 times in the mirror.
Fans, check it. Fans, check it out. You heard him say earlier 5 minutes ago, is this where you stat me to death? Are you not going to stat me to death right now? Are you? And
that's not multiple stats. That's not like 7 times this, 6 times that.
And then he's going to give me one stat.
The greatest, one of the top 10 greatest scorers in the history of the NBA. You want to put him on the top 75?
He's going to give me one stat and think that fits him right in. Think that gets his ticket stamped. You see how you do? Don't stat me to death, but he said that one stat's gonna do it. Man, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm giving Carmelo yellow. I'm giving Carmelo yellow. He's up for discussion. Carmelo's up for discussion. He's up for discussion.
Fair enough, man. I know you're like Carmelo. We've always had a rub about this.
So we got 10
not surprising.
Players. So we got 10 players that we need to go further into this debate. And I mentioned, I told you, Pau Gasol goes in before Carmelo. Pau Gasol is easier than before Carmelo. Again, Pau Gasol, Kyrie Irving, Chris Paul, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard. Again, we're gonna have to check. We're gonna have to see if Damian got the proper ID. if he has the proper ID, we're gonna have to check on him. Reggie Miller, Allen Iverson, Gary Payton, Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, Ray Allen. Those are, so that's 1, 2 to our top 50. We got 1, 2, 50, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. We got 13 spots.
Spots are open.
We got 13 spots. And we're going to have to decide this next week with the guy from Hoops and Brews and unveil the voice of the fans top 75 NBA list of all time. This ought to be fun. If you got some names, fans, that you think should be on the top 75, please let us know. Voice of the Fans on Instagram. What's Good in Sport on Twitter. Clevon, where can they find you?
At Clevy Wonder on Twitter. Clevon Steele on Instagram.
Let us know what you think because we're about to unveil this list. Interesting. Right, Clevon, let's take a break, man. I need a debrief, man. You don't blew me away with who should be on this list. Let's take a little break, man. When we come back, we're going to talk about this week in history. Obviously, we got some things that we look at from a historical perspective each and every week. Canelo Alvarez and Caleb Plant, the press conference. Did you see that yesterday?
A little bit of fisticuffs, a little bit of back and forth.
I'll tell you what, it was hot as hell out there, so I understand why the guys were a little on edge. It was hot. They had us in Beverly Hills. It was 95 degrees yesterday, sitting right in the sun. It was so hot. It was so hot, Cleveland. I'll tell you how hot it was. My phone, in all seriousness, I do all recording everything on my phone. My phone said, we need a break. It shut off. It overheated. We go in the shade, dude. get out the sun, dude. It was so hot. It was so hot out there yesterday. So we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about if that was staged. We're gonna talk about Peyton and Eli, Clevon. I mean, I'm sure he missed it.
I caught that. You missed just a point, but I did catch it last.
Okay, so I want to get your feedback, and we got some new starters in. I asked you about Justin Jones or Trey Lance. And we got somebody who's going to be starting their first game this Sunday. I want to get your thoughts on it. So let's take a little break here. When we come back, we're going to have this conversation about Caleb Plant and Peyton and Eli. Take a little break right here.
Check one thing real quick here.
Good
to go.
Okay, fans. Thank you guys for hanging with us. As always, fans, a couple of things we do each and every week. You heard our number segment. Each and every week we also do This Week in History, where we kind of look back at some historical events over the years, whether it's some of these are 100 years ago, some of these are 150 years ago, but we just look at some historical events that's taken place in America, in this country, and just kind of bring them to light and kind of enlighten some of the folks. So it's kind of a history lesson, if you will. Not that everyone was a history student or liked history, but we just kind of look back and see some of the things that's happened in this country. September 25th, 1861. The Secretary of the Navy authorized enlistment of slaves as Union sailors. Basically, they took a lot of slaves and put them on that first ship. And their first cruise liner. September 22nd, 1915, Xavier University, first Black Catholic college in the United States, opened in New Orleans. Black Catholic College opened in New Orleans, 1915. So that was over 100 years ago. Can you imagine that, man? We're talking about over 100 years ago. September 24th, 1957, desegregation of Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. Everybody's seen the pictures of where they had to call in the National Guards back then because they simply didn't want their schools to be desegregated. They didn't want blacks going to schools with white kids. And Just the National Guard had to be called in. What a pity that was. September 22nd, 1969, Willie Mays hit his 600th home run. 1969. And on the same day, in 2006, Barry Bonds tied Henry Aaron's National League home run record when he hit his 733rd home run. Your guy, Barry Bonds, Mr. Flaxseed Oil. All right, yeah, Clevon, Canelo Alvarez, Caleb Plant, as they do the face-off, Caleb Plant called Canelo a motherfucker. Canelo thought he's talking about his mom. He said, "Don't talk about my mom." Somebody still needs to explain to Canelo that when you call somebody a motherfucker, you're not talking about their mom. That's not
he's been here long enough to understand that subtle nuance.
Clearly he doesn't, because he told one of my guys asked him about it. He says, "I know English now. I know English," and he was talking about my mom. You motherfucker that's talking about my mom. I know it now. So maybe he needs he needs to hang out with a few more Americans.
Well, you know what? Don't enlighten him. Don't educate him until after the fight, and they'd be like,
That's a good point.
Let him carry that anger through the fight.
That's a good point. That's a good point. But Canelo, I mean, yesterday, I'm standing right. I was 8 feet from the incident. In fact, if you watch the video on ESPN, I stand up, you can see my whole head and everything. But I saw Canelo push Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant gathered himself, thought about it for a second, and then he went right back at him and, attempted to slap him. As he went to slap him, he got him with a finger or two. But Canelo was so quick that he kind of ducked around a slap, came back with the uppercut, a left uppercut, and that's what caught Caleb Plant in the eye. And that Caleb Plant's glasses going against his face created the mouse under there. And then so Canelo caught him with the uppercut, and then went to go hit him with the right, was like, and it would just happen that fast that he caught him, and it was like, oh, maybe not right now. Maybe I'll save that for November 6th. But that's how quick he was. That's how quick Canelo was on top of that. I like Caleb Plant. I like everything he stands for. He's always been a good dude. He's always been a stand-up guy and talking to us. He always give us time when I go to talk to him as media members. He got 3 rounds against Canelo. He got 3 rounds because Canelo's going to start slow. Well, before yesterday, I was thinking Canelo was going to start slow, but Canelo might just come in there to get rid of him quickly. He says he's going to get rid of him in under 8. This is how I predict the fight's going to go. Canelo's going to take the first 3 rounds, just kind of catching his timing, just kind of feeling him out. And if Caleb Plant doesn't hurt him and give Canelo some reason to respect his punching power, it's going to be over in 6 or 7. That's Canelo's going to take the first 3 rounds to kind of feel him out. After that, he's going to go to Caleb Plant's ass rounds 4, 5, and 6. And if he survives 6, 7, that is going to be a good look for Caleb Plant. I don't know that he has a punching power to kind of make Canelo respect him and keep him off him throughout the fight. He's going to have to show that early. He can't wait and do that. He's going to have to show it early, and then it's going to be lights out. It's going to be a good fight to watch. Obviously, clearly there's some animosity going. What's your thoughts on the fight? Are you familiar with Caleb Plant, or what's your thoughts on the fight?
I have seen Caleb Plant fight a few times. But like you were saying, he's outmatched, and this is not going to last long. If the over/under is 8 rounds, I'm definitely taking the under.
So it's going to be yes. It'll be exciting as long as it lasts. We'll put it like that. So Peyton and Eli, They kill it again on Monday night. This week is a little cleaner. It looked like the Peyton didn't have his whiteboard to kind of go up there, design some plays. It's more conversational. What did you think of their telecast?
I thought it was funny. I liked the interaction. There was a few too many times after scores where they tried to get, a little too analytical, kind of, rewinding the tape back, and like they're like in film session. We're not in film session. We're just kind of watching the game, homies. So we don't need all of those, necessarily all those angles, but just the interaction with, the Favre and the Gronk and the, punter, McAfee, hilarious, because all the stories are, true and, kind of carry a little bit more, cachet than just some guys talking. So, and guys are, are obviously more comfortable and have more stories depending on who you're, bringing on the show. So that part's kind of funny and, brings a different wrinkle to it. And, why not watch that telecast every once in a while?
Every once in a while, every week. I think
depends. It's certainly nouveau right now, but we'll see if they kind of burn out and kind of lose material, or if they continue to just kind of have that swagger about them.
I think the only guys who can, as far as a football show, now we want to keep it football. I think the only guys who could compete on this or have competed on this was with Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin did the post-game highlights on NBC, or not, on the NFL Network. Like, that was the only thing that kind of competed with that. But then, like, they had time to talk because the games was over. They're showing highlights, right? They had time to come back and banter back and forth, not during the game. But I think if Deion and Michael Irvin, like those, can you think of anybody else who has that cachet, who has that, if you hear Deion Sanders is commentating on the show, you're going to tune in to watch Deion Sanders. It could be the Carolina Panthers playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're not so much concerned with the game and what's going on there, but you're going to get some gold from Deion Sanders, some nice soundbites from Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin. Like, those are two guys, maybe a Marshall Faulk, and Deion, or Marshall Faulk and Michael might be able to handle that or command that attention. But it has to, I think networks, if I have this right, I think networks are looking for that combination of guys who can command that same attention. I think that's the way to go, man. I don't even who else they got doing Monday Night Football? Greasy, Levy, and
Louis Reddick.
I love Louis Reddick. He's the best of the three, but unfortunately, Louis Reddick, they might as well turn that shit off. They might as well pull the plug on that production, because it's a waste of time. Nobody's listening. Nobody's watching that. I don't think. I want to hear the stories, like you mentioned, the stories that these guys have. They can. Now, so you saw it after last week. Peyton was literally trying to call a play and then diagram the play while three plays are going on. That he was trying to do that the first week, and then they Peyton, get rid of the damn whiteboard. You don't have all that time, but you can talk about the play. Let's just have you. So they had the game still going on, so you could still see the game, and then it was Peyton and Eli telling their stories, and whoever came on. I didn't like Gronk. I didn't like Gronk on the show. Obviously, Gronk's a funny guy, but for that type of show, I don't need to hear Gronk tell his stories. I don't need to hear, I don't go to practice. I don't need to hear that. Not during the game. Like, it was good halftime show, has halftime guest. That was cool. Favre, okay, he told a story. He had a story or two to tell. McAfee, obviously, he's hysterical. He's an entertainer, so he was good. But the show is off the charts, man. I don't know. You said sometimes it's okay to see it every now and then. The show is off the charts, man. I don't know what you're talking about. Disagree?
The show is cool. I clearly I don't love it as much as you're pontificating about, but I definitely see the the strong points of it. I'm just not as enamored with the show as you are, but certainly I will watch it. In great anticipation of being entertained.
It has to be like when McEnroe started doing TV, and before he got. So in the early 90s, before he got cleaned up and all buttoned up now and became mature, if you will, McEnroe was saying something. You can't do that. You can't do that on the court. McEnroe wasn't holding back. And again, now that he's buttoned up, he's not quite as brash and boisterous as he was when he started early. But that's about the only thing. I'm trying to think, like, who else. I'm leaving the inside NBA. I'm not even. They don't. That's on another planet, right? What they do over there, that's on a whole nother planet. That's over there, okay? But I'm just within football, like that is the best. I can't think of another football show telecast that I enjoy watching more. I can't, other than Michael Irvin. The one year they had Michael Irvin and Deion Sanders doing prime time after the games. And they did that. I don't know why they took those guys apart. I don't understand. Like, you can't tell. Michael was talking over Deion. Deion was talking over Michael. So what? They're giving us that show was must-see TV every week. And as poor as NFL Network's programming is, where they show the same show every 3 hours, like that's something that you would watch the second time 3 hours because you miss some of what they're saying. Like, I would if they re-aired Peyton Manning and Eli, I'd watch that again because you're not catching, unless you're really intently paying attention. You're not catching all the jabs and the bars and the jokes that they have for each other. You're just not catching it all. I mean, it was excellent TV. I said enough. I thought it was excellent. Justin Fields. We asked last week who gets the first chance to start, Justin Fields or Trey Lance. Well, since Red Rocket, Andy Dalton thought he was Colin Kaepernick and running around back there and pulled a knee ligament or something. Now it's Justin Fields' turn. Are we done? Have we seen the last of Andy Dalton at quarterback for the Chicago Bears?
Depends on the health of Justin Fields. If he's healthy, you leave him out there.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to be a question.
You pull him if he struggles too mightily, which could obviously happen. But that's at this point, if he doesn't get hurt, he gets at least an 8-game sample size.
Okay, that's fair. What was your biggest takeaway from college football weekend? What was your biggest takeaway? I'll tell you mine here in a second. I know you didn't go to the big house. You didn't travel this weekend, did you?
No, the Huskies played at home. Thanks for asking. That was last week. My biggest takeaway from college football this week was Florida being able to hang with Alabama. Didn't think they could. Yeah,
that was mine as well. My next question is Bama vulnerable. Florida, if they have, I don't know what kind of 3-point or 2-point conversion.
Yeah, that was a weird.
I don't know what that was they had going on, but
that was a weird play call. No chance to work.
Come out 4 wide, play fake, have your running back run to the flat. If he's not wide open, have the quarterback run the ball. I mean, that's a play that's unstoppable. Like, I have no idea what they were trying to do. But yeah, is Bama vulnerable? Is Florida that good, or is Bama vulnerable? What did that tell you?
It was a tough game for Bama early. They're definitely awake now if they weren't before. I mean, it could have, led to a lot of other things. Fortunately, I shouldn't say fortunately because I'm not an Alabama fan, but they were able to come out with a victory. And I don't know if it necessarily shows a vulnerability in them or just Florida just is very familiar with their scheme and their personnel and just not afraid of them. Certainly not in the swamp. So it's a good game.
Yeah, it was a good matchup, and that's the thing that kind of caught my eye there, and how Clemson stayed at number 6 after that bad loss they had, and then what do you think about what USC did? I mean, I know you don't got nothing positive to say about Washington State, but USC brings a quarterback, a third-string quarterback in the game, and he goes for over 400-yard passing. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's the Cougs, man. I mean, you can do anything with the Cougs. So.
See, all right, man. I knew I was going too far with your objectivity, man. Well, for this week's schedule in the NFL, let's see what we agree on most of these games. The games we do not agree on, you have I have New Orleans. I'm picking the upset. I got New Orleans upsetting the Patriots. You got the Patriots winning that game. You have the Falcons upsetting the Giants, or it's not even an upset. They're both 0-2, so somebody's got to win that game. I have the Giants. You got the Falcons. Outside of that, you have Tampa Bay. I got the Rams at home beating Tampa Bay.
Oh.
Yeah, Rams at home beat Tampa Bay. I got the Eagles over Dallas. I'm looking for a big game with Jalen Hurts.
Oh.
I'm looking for a big game out of Jalen Hurts.
So we disagree on 4 games. I like that.
yeah. So we get some separation here. When I get these games correct, we're gonna have a little separation going on. The games I have against the spread is I have Las Vegas -3. I mean -4. I mean, no, enough said. I got Vegas to beat Miami handily. New Orleans. I have New Orleans +3. I'll take that 3 points going to New England. Sean Payton knows what he's dealing with when he's dealing with Bill Belichick, so he's going up there with his mindset to win. They had an embarrassing loss last week. I think they're going to be intent on getting a W this week. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going into Cowboy Stadium to ruin their home opener. So I'll take those Jalen Hurts at plus the 4 points. You have Washington +9. Over the Bills, so you got Washington +9, and or you got the Bills, but you got Washington taking the +9 points. Okay, you got the Falcons +3 against the Giants. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like I said, somebody has to win that game. They're in New York, so the 3 points. I can see that. And then you got Green Bay +3.5. Who are they playing that they only get 3.5? Oh, they play the Niners. Ooh, I was trying to stay away from that game. They're playing the Niners. And yeah, that's going to be a good game, actually. That probably might be the game of the week, isn't it? 49ers and the Packers. I guess Rams and Bucks is going to be a good game, right?
That's a big good game.
Bingo Steelers, Saints Patriots, and Chargers Chiefs. That should be a pretty good game. Chargers Chiefs should actually be a pretty good game. Colts Titans will ultimately be a good game. Not the best aesthetically pleasing game, but it should be a good football game. Let me see. Seahawks Vikings. The Seahawks better win that game. Are we already at a must win for the Seahawks?
We're at a pretty close to must win. If they lose this game and the other 3 teams continue to stay undefeated, yeah. That's kind of the division right there, right? After 3 games. Yeah, Cardinals 2-0, Rams 2-0, 49ers 2-0. Yeah, this is and you guys don't have when's your next? I'm not looking at your schedule unless you got a divisional game next week where you can bump one of these guys off. I mean, this is pretty serious. This is pretty critical here. Kirk Cousins, you go to Kirk Cousins. If you can't beat Kirk Cousins, boy, yeah. Or you let Dalvin Cook rush up for 180 on you next week. I'm okay with that part of the equation. It's the losing the game. I mean, that really would be critical. Yeah. Dalvin Cook might get his 150, but if they lose the game, that's For our confidence picks, I got New England +1, Green Bay +2, Denver +3, Cleveland +4, and hold on. I can't have Tampa Bay at 5 if I have them losing. Well, you sure did. Well, this is the kind of stuff that we need to flesh out right now, Cam. Yeah. On camera, what are you saying? I'm just looking at it. I'm like, hold on. Maybe did I catch the – so, yeah, okay. I'm looking at you have the Rams winning the game, but Tampa Bay at your +5 in the confidence? I'm about to fix this right now because that's my week 2 right there. That's my week 2. See? It's okay. It's okay, man. Settle down over there. Settle down. See, fans, that's why I always have to interject. I have my own notebook this year. Listen to season. So oh, you got your own notebook? Yeah, I got my own notebook. Yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we're gonna do the little ticker at the bottom so we see what the score is in every category. Ain't that a bitch? I got my own book. Yeah, I got my own forensic accounting going on over here, fans. Yeah. So good. Sometimes we get lost in these kind of conversations like, oh man, I picked the Rams, but Tampa Bay +5 on the confidence. What happened here? What am I doing? I just pointed it out right now. So what's the fix? What's the fix, Cam?
So now let's review. Confidence picks. Picks. I got Denver, Carolina, Arizona, Cleveland, and Baltimore. Where you have
Baltimore plus 5?
Baltimore is my 5. Yes, Baltimore plus 5. You have Baltimore plus 1, Seattle, Carolina, Denver, and Arizona. So we have some of the same teams. I got Cleveland. You got Carolina. I got Cleveland in here. You don't have Cleveland in there. You got Seattle. I don't have Seattle. I got Cleveland in there. That's the only difference in our teams. In our Seattle and Cleveland, the only difference in our teams this week. So we'll see. We'll see how this thing shakes out, man. So settle down over there. We got it corrected. We on the right track, Cleveland. Cleveland always try to throw something. I want to see this notebook you got. I want to see that notebook you got because this file is pretty on point right here. This file that I got is on point right here, and you know it. As for our Voice of the Fans fantasy draft, I'm gonna have to put it out there. Owners in the fantasy football league this year, Voice of the Fans Fantasy Football League, I'm gonna have to put up a bounty. The first person to beat Clevon, hit me up. I got something for you. First person to beat those guys, hit me up. I got something for you. Okay, I'm gonna have to send this message out. Send out my bounty hunters to young Sam Rothstein. Right now, I'm 2-0. There's only 2 other teams in the league 2-0. That would be, who is that? Tony's champion. How this guy hang around? This guy just quietly be hanging around. Oh, he's always in the mix. Tony.
It's defending champion, Cam.
Yeah, just hang.
Who's the other undefeated team, though? Don't keep the people in suspense, Cam.
Oh, Show Enough is undefeated. He's in second place. Show Enough is undefeated.
Okay, who else is undefeated, Cam?
And that's really all that matters. That's really all that matters.
Wow.
We got a couple winless teams. Who you match up? You got the Stars this week, huh? The Stars might give you a competition, man.
Don't matter who I'm playing. My team is superlative. So
your team. Who's on your team? This is your squad with Harris, huh? Najee Harris.
He is one of the players that contributes to the success of the young Sam Rothstein squad. Yeah. How about them receivers though? What do you see there?
Dak Prescott, Adams,
Devontae Adams, scoring McLaurin. And how about that defense? What'd they do?
Oh boy, listen to this guy.
What'd that defense do?
Oh man, what did they give you? 10 points last week? I don't know. I don't know that
28 points. They pitched a shutout, Cam. It was a bloodbath.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if they compete, if that squad competes with Baker Mayfield and Dwight Hopkins, or excuse me, DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen. You know, they laughed at you, Aaron Jones. They laughed at you, Aaron Jones, when you were picked. All he did is
still laughing. Still laughing, Aaron.
Came scored 38 points last week.
Good. Yeah.
Antonio Gibson.
Gibson? Ooh.
Yeah. That's exactly the response we want. Okay. That's exactly the response that we like over there. When they underestimate you, when we have to play above our heads. I mean, I could put in.
Wouldn't trade him for Justin Tucker right about now, but that's okay. Keep going.
No, I mean, I could put in Claypool. I could put in Waddle right now. I mean, Justin.
You could put in Waddle right now. You got to do that?
No, I could put in Damian Harris. He's looking like he's fighting for a spot on the playing team.
Maybe
he looked like he's fighting. And Antonio, you got this Q next to you. You got this cute question mark next to your name. That might spell. In fact, you playing the Buffalo defense. Yeah. You playing the Buffalo defense. You might need to come sit next to me this week.
Oh, I do like the respect that have for my clairvoyance and my decision making when picking that Buffalo defense so early.
Well, let's not get too carried away.
Saying you're already benching players out of fear that they're going to get swallowed up.
No, it's not out of fear, out of opportunity. Darren Harris has been playing.
It's out of fear. You would start him otherwise. So
Harris has been he's earned a spot, if you will. So Clevon, now this is your part of the show. I'm gonna turn it over to you, and I'm gonna give you 90 seconds, and you could tell us about these scrubby Mariners who, we've got a message for the fans right there. You see the message at the bottom of Ticker Fans? This is Clevon's prediction. Yeah, that's Clevon's prediction. Tell us about them scrubs.
Oh, sure, Cam. Well, for starters, they guaranteed that they will have a winning record this season. The last game they won.
Is that the playoffs?
So your misnomer that they wouldn't have a winning record this year already off the charts. Yeah, thanks.
Is that the playoffs?
See at Ivers Pier 57 for that one. Okay. Secondly, how many games are they out of the playoffs? Yeah, right now they are winning 4-1 in the 8th inning, and they're only 2 games out with 13 games left. So yeah, they are still in the playoff hunt. They're doing quite well. They're gelling as a team. They're winning on the road. They're winning at home, and we'll just have to see what happens, Cam. But they're in the fight with something you didn't think they would even be close to. Oh, and by the way, thanks for asking. Yes, the 2023 All-Star Game will be in Seattle, Washington. If you want to go, you should probably get tickets now.
2020. When was it in Seattle? It was in Seattle, what, 2001, maybe? 2001 is.
Oh, I believe that was Cal Ripken's final All-Star game. Yeah, it was a glorious time, and also the season that the Seattle Mariners won 116 games.
Man, and what happened after they won 116 games? What happened in the next 2 games, or the next 3 games? Didn't they get swept out the playoffs?
No, they won. They won the first round series, and they did not win the next round.
And then they got swept. Don't leave that part out.
I don't believe there was a sweeping going on, but at any rate, you asked me to say what was going on with the Mariners right now. This is what's going on right now. They have clinched a winning record this season. Thanks for asking. I'll see you at Ivers Happy Hour. And they're only 2.5 games back in the playoff race.
Yeah, we'll see. They got 2 weeks to fall on their face. So
okay, well, you should be concerned. And yes, the All-Star Game is going to be here in 2023 when this team is one of the hottest teams in baseball. And it'll be too late for you, Cam.
It'll be they might not be playing in T-Mobile.
Oh, you know what? The All-Star Game will be in T-Mobile Park. Yeah,
they might not.
They'll be hitting home runs into the sound. Thanks for asking.
It might be the Portland Monarchs for all we know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Okay. See, they're just using your negative energy as positive fuel. So.
Yeah. Okay. Fans, thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate you for tuning in. Fans, we need your feedback. Because as of today, as of this moment you're hearing me speak, we have 7 players that we have to decide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players, excuse me. We have to decide if these guys are worthy of a position on an all NBA top 75 team. We have to decide this, and we're going to unveil it next week. So give us your feedback if you want to be a part of this. Give us your feedback. You can find me at What's Good in Sport. That's What's Good in Sport on Twitter. Voice of Fans on Instagram. Clevon, how can they find you?
At Clevy Wonder on Twitter and Clevon Steele on Instagram.
So as we work through this, we want your feedback, fans. Thank you guys for tuning in for the show. Before I let you go, I'm going to end you guys, send you home with this quote. Adversity caused some men to break, others to break records. William A. Ward says this. Adversity caused some men to break, others to break records. So I'm going to break some records this week with my picks segments, my picks against the spreads, the pick segments, and my confidence picks. I set records. That's what I do against Clevon. Competition is none. So that's what I do. Fans, when we come back next week, remember, tell a friend about the baddest podcast in all the land, and we will unveil with our special guests our NBA top 75 list Got some work to do on it. And fans, we'll talk to you soon. Clevon. Fans, I just want to tell you, thank you as always for making our voice your choice. We appreciate your feedback. Clevon, enjoy the night, my man.
Same to you, bro. Talk soon.
All right, later.